Randolph Scott, the tall, stoic cowboy who came to define an entire era of Hollywood westerns, was for decades the very image of rugged masculinity. Appearing in more than 100 films where his commanding presence, piercing gaze, and quiet strength made him a legend of the silver screen, a figure audiences associated with integrity, honor, and the fearless gunslinger archetype. Yet behind that carefully maintained image lay a mystery that has puzzled fans for generations, one that only in recent years has begun to be understood more clearly. And the truth, as it turns out, is far from the picture-perfect Hollywood story audiences once believed. Unlike many of his contemporaries in the golden age of Hollywood, Scott was intensely private, almost secretive, refusing to bask in the glitz, gossip, and publicity machine that kept other stars in the headlines. Rarely granting interviews and deliberately constructing a wall between his public persona and his private life, which only fueled speculation as to why one of the most bankable stars of the 1930s, 40s, and 50s seemed so reluctant to let the world in. At the heart of this mystery was Scott's famously close friendship with fellow actor Cary Grant, a bond that went far beyond Hollywood's typical social circles. The two men lived together for over a decade in a shared Malibu home, sparking endless rumors and speculation in an industry that was merciless toward actors whose personal lives did not fit the all-American, studio-approved image of masculinity. For at that time, any hint of deviation could ruin a career overnight. Whispers followed Scott throughout his life, but he never once addressed them publicly, never explained the truth, instead choosing silence and allowing the cowboy persona to remain intact, while other stars like John Wayne leaned fully into their off-screen fame and cultivated their public identities beyond the screen. After the 1960s, Scott chose a different path, quietly fading from Hollywood and retreating into a life of privacy, but rather than ending the questions, his silence only deepened the mystery of who he truly was. Now, as historians revisit his life and legacy, a more complicated picture has emerged. Far from being a man content in retirement, Scott seems to have struggled with isolation, carrying the heavy burden of a personal life that had to remain hidden in order to protect his career in a time when Hollywood demanded perfection, conformity, and silence on certain matters. While he achieved lasting fame and is still remembered as one of the defining figures of the Western genre, the cost of that fame was his ability to fully share himself with the world, leaving him to live in the shadows of his own story. The Randolph Scott mystery, at last, seems to be solved, and it is not a happy one, but rather the tale of a man who embodied strength on screen while wrestling with the unspoken battles of his off-screen life, a reminder that even the toughest cowboys were human, carrying burdens their audiences never saw.